Okay, hey everyone, my name is Denis and today we're going to speak about DevOps. We will spend about 1 hour to discuss all hype around the DevOps, how to build your team, following the best practice, what the anti-patterns and how to avoid it. We'll make some live demos and answering your question at the end. The high quality video you will find on YouTube at the end of the session and all commands history of demos if you need it for your colleagues, you also get recorded, okay? So, my summary is I'm lead software engineer focused on cloud-native solution architecture, DevOps and SRE, Site Reliability Engineering, certified Kubernetes administrator with the 15 plus years in telecom as a network engineer, technical manager, and CTO. Today I practice DevOps in a cloud-native media project based on Google Cloud and also develop a course of Kubernetes doing yourself for DevOps. You may find interesting my podcast at pmc.show and YouTube channel where we talk about technology ideas and change makers. Also some episodes of age cutting for DevOps, Russian and Ukrainian language. So let's look in our agenda. DevOps hype versus culture, types and anti-patterns, way to NoOps, top DevOps myths, DevOps checklist, your roadmap to the DevOps. And before we start with the demonstration, daily task when you're implementing DevOps, and dive to the types and anti-patterns, I would like to make some notes about the DevOps hype. So, everyone in a software development knows this infinity loop, SDLC, when you plan, code, build, ship, and run your applications. And with the old school team configuration, we have at least 2 separate teams, dev and operations. So all hype around the DevOps processes is about inter-team communication, but in fact, most of discussions is about tools. You can find periodic table of DevOps tools, a ton of open source software, startups, and enterprise feature around the DevOps hype. Even we got DevOps engineer as a statement for IT terminology. But DevOps is a process, not a person. It is a culture, the variant how to develop your product, develop flow plus best practice. So I have 2 questions to you at the end of our discussion. Can we implement DevOps without the tools? And how to understand, are your team ready for DevOps? So let's start with the demo. We run the cloud infrastructure, next most significant framework Kubernetes, and I will start the application to show you what the daily task of DevOps, and we can speak about the patterns and anti-patterns in DevOps. Okay, so I will avoid DevOps magic because there is, as far as I understand, no engineers, so no boring technical stuff. I will go directly to some slides for you. Actually, this is a real-time example for the engineers who would like to be involved in the DevOps. So this is the work, DevOps types and anti-patterns. It's related for the well-known patterns and best practice. So all graphics, by the way, is for Ukrainian artists. Okay, so we start with the history. So why DevOps? Why dev and operation? Because historical, there is two teams, and one of them is all about applications and the second for the operations. And this is some kind of statement that developers actually throw application to the over the wall to the operation and don't care about the next steps and our life cycle of application. And done means feature complete, but not working in production. So, and intercommunication with these guys, actually with the different mindset and whatever, this is the big issue in maybe any company that we can actually work before or for now, even in a global logic actually. So they, developers, they not have enough context what the operation works, and operation guys not involving in the application development cycle. So, and this is the anti-pattern, but this is the start. So, and DevOps culture itself is some kind of way to avoid these complex issues in your team or the company. So, and I would like to show you some, anti-patterns that we should avoid this kind of team architecture to avoid the issues inside of the project exactly. So DevOps team silos. This is some kind of first step in each company of each team that they start with a separate team that's called DevOps, but operation and dev still in silos. So it's separate team. So any team works on their responsibility and not communicated with each other. So the separate team with the DevOps is an anti-pattern. So it's not enough to hiring some DevOps in a team and we can say that we start DevOps. Unfortunately, no, because the operation is still operation. So the next anti-pattern that we can describe, there is a tools team. So DevOps as a tools. Because the DevOps is a flow, is a culture and process, is not just a tools. Yes, there is so many tools that DevOps can implement in the team from the cloud to the on-prem and work on it, pipelines, whatever. So, but it's not just a tools, because without the process, without the flow, tools stop works on maybe, in the nearest time, because the operation is isolated. The management just want to become DevOps, but DevOps like a tool set man for the development. So no culture here. So a lack of collaboration and the application lifecycle. What else? Very fast with the next one. When our human resources hiring the sysadmins, they call them DevOps. It's like a rebrand sysadmin to the DevOps, and we implement DevOps in the team. So sysadmins, in most of case, they lack the operation and flow, knowledge about what the development processes, how to support developers, and how to implement DevOps practice in a team and the application flow. Yeah, they know the service operation system, tools to make some networking, maybe security, and I hope they can develop, but no flow to continuous integration or continuous deployment, metrics, business metrics, monitoring, and whatever. So sysadmins or rebranded sysadmins it's not yet DevOps. So what next? One of the most maybe hype feature that we don't need operation. So the manager actually say that we have cloud, we have hosted solutions, we can pay money for this hosting solution, and we can use it without operation. So we need just the developers, but not the operation. And for the first time, it's okay. Some developers spend the time of hosted solution, paid solutions, and maybe set up or integrate something. But when you make a step to the production, it's finished, because there is no geo distribution, load balancing, the deep knowledge of networking, or deep knowledge of the new frameworks, for instance, Kubernetes. Just the overview of Kubernetes is the most mistakes that young teams make when shipping the application, because the production is a different thing, not just a hosted solution, in case we speak about the real application with the customers. Okay, we are actually finished with the Antipatterns, and let's speak about the types of modern teams with the DevOps inside. So first of all, this is the type of full collaboration and full responsibility with the dev and the operation. When the dev understand what kind of work implemented from the operation, and operated guys involved on the application development. Actually, one of the things that this is the organization with a strong technical leadership. So this is potential effective of these types is high, but the organization that implement this type should be should have maturity of flow inside of the team and inside of the technologies exactly. Next one is most popular for the Netflix, Facebook, or maybe some Twitter, for example. So this is the fully shared responsibility. So there is some kind of software engineer. So no actually separate the operation and development. So there is a software engineers that can be switched from the one task to another or opposite. And actually this is some kind of web-based application like a Facebook. So it's not all applications, because it should be target. So and all teams, all team members work on this around this target. So and the most important to share responsibility. So devs can respond of the operation of application. DevOps as a service. So there is a separate companies or teams that can involve to the process for the short term and actually make all of DevOps things. So first of all, it is auditing of the system, or take the request from the customer, make some infrastructure, flow, pipelines, and whatever. And next, they make the knowledge sharing with the existing engineers, and that's it. It's paid solution, and actually we practice some kind of DevOps as a service in Ukraine exactly. So I have my actually friends that's they have a team for the 10 engineers that implement all of DevOps for the project. The most important things here is when the management focusing on the application. So focus it on the product, not for the operation process, and are ready to pay for this. And this is the, some kind of lazy DevOps in the team, because you just need the operation guys that got the knowledge sharing and can monitoring and whatever the application in the production. Next, actually, type is a Devops Evangelist. So this is some kind of DevOps or engineer that implementing DevOps, but in a team, he actually played the role of evangelist. They took actually three main issues. First of all, they introduced the crazy things like a networking or load balancing to the dev team, and etc. They implement or describe the things like a stand-up to the sysadmins or operation guys. They hit the stand-ups and whatever that's related to communicate with each other. So, and most important, that evangelists show for the management and for the people the results. So they show that DevOps, Dev and Ops can work together. So, and after the third step, this company will start to make the benefits of from the DevOps process and the DevOps flow. But it's related for the actually this person evangelist. So some companies, for instance, in my experience, I'm involving as an evangelist for some big telecom company abroad, and they have not DevOps team inside of the company, so they can't take the DevOps as a service because they have a huge, departments of operation and developers. So they need some to solve some issues exactly with the evangelist guy. So, and this is the Google approach, SRE. So for now, there is two hype terms, DevOps and SRE. So SRE is a site reliability engineering. This is the approach that implementing DevOps, but actually it's very strong, maybe frames, and it comes from Google, and Google actually before they has the same problems with the dev and operation, and the decision was to actually hiring the software engineer, not operation, not development, but software engineer. The software engineer is related to the development and operation and the same skill level. So it took about 3 years for Google to, balancing the number of engineers, and actually for now all engineers in Google is software engineers. So they can take the responsibility for the cloud infrastructure or developing the application. And what the main point in this Google model, that dev can be joined in a call support. So when we implement the application and promote it to the production, we need to support in the first night, for instance. And developers in a regular model, they don't took the actually calls from customer, troubleshooting and whatever. In this model, they took all the responsibility for the application in production. And operation guys, they can actually make the code review from the dev team to understand that code is good or not. In case of not, they return the code with some remarks and whatever. So the full implementation of application lifecycle for the both team, operation and development. So one of the most maybe practice model, this is container-driven collaboration. In case of we cannot solve the issues with the teams, so because maybe teams already exist and the organization not ready to reorganize the process or organization structure or whatever. So the container-driven model is the solve in this issue. So first of all, we containerize all of the application. So dev team writing the code, test all of the things, and next the artifact from the dev team is a container image in the container registry. And the second, the operation team just took the container and run in a production with the fireless. Just fireless deploy it, JFDI. So this is the principle. So the responsibility is finished in the container inside. So operations just manipulate the container, load balancing, redundancy, security, and whatever. And the dev team, the separated line in a container. So their responsibility actually solve the issue of this collaboration. So, and I hope that's it about the types and anti-patterns, and I would like to switch to the myths. So this is not a myths, this myths. Okay. So this is the common myths about the DevOps. So we should avoid it because, human resource or I don't know, management just mind that this is the DevOps. So let's look in it. Adopting tools makes you DevOps. So you just take some tools, maybe Kubernetes or Jenkins pipeline, you implement it on a team, and you can say you have DevOps. No, because there is no flow, no culture, and no processes. Next, DevOps means going to conference. Of course. DevOps in your title means you are doing DevOps. So in case we're hiring the engineer with the title DevOps, it's not actually matter that this is DevOps. Continuous delivery is only for web companies. So some kind of projects say that we don't need DevOps because we're not a web. We have a C++ or we have some embedded. So no DevOps here because DevOps is about web application. So no, because there is a process to implement from the planning of your code to production and feedback from the customer. And all of the stage in a loop, the plan, build, test, delivery, deploy, monitoring, and feedback, all of the things should be present in any team. It's not matter web or embedded. CI/CD means realizing every 5 minutes. So there is a CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment or delivery, the same things actually. So this is the basis of the DevOps. So we integrate code from different repository, we make the application, and next we deliver this application with the pipeline to the production to the customers exactly. So and some of them compliance that we cannot release our application every 5 minutes, so we don't need a DevOps. We have 1 month release cycle, so we are working on a holidays night to stop all of the production to update our application and next with rollback, downtime and whatever. But CI/CD is not about the 5 minutes or terms, it's about the flow. So this is should be environment for the dev, QA, staging for the customer, and production for the end users. And the flow from the feature branch to the production, it should be implemented with the CI/CD, with the flow. So not about the 5 minutes only. DevOps is just for the engineers. this is some kind of managers can say that it's just for engineers, not for me. But the first things, and you can find the 7 myths that DevOps doesn't require C-level. So managers and C-level fully involved in the DevOps process, because the C-level should support with the time, budget, and whatever. Management should be awareness about the process, how to implement, how to hiring the right person, and how to build the team exactly. So it's not just the engineers, it's starting from the C-level and the next managers and the team itself. So, and what else? What about the my presentation for the C-level? I would like to show you the myths and checklist. Okay, so this is the some kind of this is open source DevOps checklist. We're starting discussion with the C-level. Do they need DevOps, or how to implement DevOps in the company or in the team in case of this manager, with the DevOps checklist. So it's cover culture, sharing, automation, measurement, and testing. So this is the the steps of the DevOps lifecycle. So they just fill the form, that just check the some kind of questions, and after that, at the end, they have a score. So what the readiness of your team or company for DevOps. In case of score is low, you just need to understand which of the questions you mark or not, to understand what the topic to be focused on it, or maybe make some consultation from the evangelist or DevOps as a service exactly. So, and roadmap. So this kind of roadmap about the tools. So the younger DevOps, and that we are starting now Basecamp for DevOps, and I'm actually learning them of Kubernetes for now. So, and this is the exactly topics to start with the tools and start with the flow. And after that, the engineers or managers start to think as a DevOps. So in case I would like to show you, we have books. So we have a tools, actually online tools with the free resources to start practice your skills, and there is a books. So this is Netflix, there is a Google, how to implement SRE or DevOps in actually big companies, to understand how what the way or what the process they actually implement in the company to make the results, to involve the engineers, to DevOps process managers, and to be, it's some kind of best practice for from the big companies. So, as a summary, so we have a tools and we have a culture. Without the culture, it's just the tools. And my question on the start was, can we implement DevOps without the tools? On the first time, yes, we can start with the process, and next we can integrate some tools. And the second question, is your team or your company ready for DevOps? You just need to fill the start. You just need start to filling this form to understand the questions, or in which topic we can dive and actually change some organization or team reorganization to be more flexible for the DevOps best practice. And actually, now I'm ready to discussion and with you. So just let me know what topic you are interested in, and let's speak about it. Thank you. Okay, magic presentation is not a question, maybe it's a statement. Yeah. So our DevOps needs for all.
Denise, how do you create this presentation?
Actually, yes, it's a good question. This is the application for the DevOps guys that we are implementing the Kubernetes. So it's it's SVG. It's scalable vector graphic for the web. So I implement the library that animate the this graphic. So it's some kind of points with the lines. So all of the things is animated. It's a real-time application that just before the session I start with in the cloud some servers, run the Kubernetes on it, deploy some containers, and this is the real application that we are working on the course of Kubernetes. So all things real and makes by these hands. Okay, so are the DevOps need for all projects? In case we speak about the IT projects or software development projects, I say yes. So in case we just make the maybe printer drivers, so DevOps actually have a place there because we have a repository, code, integration, testing. So we have some kind of steps in an infinity loop. So with the DevOps, life easy, so more easier. And what the ideal project for DevOps? So there is no ideal project, So and any DevOps can actually broke any project. But anyway, so in case we have a team with some developers and this structure more flexible for the reorganization, and we have, we can start the pipeline. This is the ideal project. The flexibility is a mark. In case you are flexible to implement some flow pipelines or maybe best practice, you're not the closed. This is the ideal project. What the future of DevOps trends? Okay, very good question.
Sorry. I want to also double check on the question that was previously asked regarding is DevOps needed for all projects? Additional question to that is, do we have enough DevOps in global logic as per your knowledge? I understand you don't know all projects, but how developed is this practice in our projects, and do our managers know the value of having DevOps on their teams?
Okay, so there is a everyday lack of the DevOps because we start the base camp and now there is a 30 persons trying to be involved in global logic projects on the role of DevOps, and actually for today the trend, every team should run DevOps. So the same situation, every team should run Agile, for instance, Scrum or whatever, DevOps, the same things. So, and this is the time to hiring and involving DevOps in each project. And now we have a lack of actually skilled DevOps because all of the things in our base camp, for instance, is just about the tools, because our customers, they required for us the tools. You need to maybe Java, C++, JavaScript, Kubernetes, and Docker. So nothing about the flow pipelines and the process inside of team. And next, for instance, in my example of my experience in my project, we start build DevOps for the first day, and it took about 1 year to build the DevOps processes in existing embedded and media cloud solution project. So we need actually engineers with the mindset as a DevOps, with the skills, with the tools, and actually the support of management and C-level for this one. And what about the future and trends? As you know, the Basecamp, for example, there is a very good example for this one, because this is Basecamp for the telecom. 1 year ago, we mind that DevOps is dead. So it's some kind of, thoughts about every team has DevOps. It's not interesting, everyone knows the tool set and whatever. So DevOps is dead. And SRE is a rock, so the Google approach is rock and whatever. But this year, on the end of previous year, there is a big telecom comes to the scene, and they start to transform their processes, old school processes, to the new rails. So to the cloud, to the edge computing, to the virtualization, containerization, and whatever. And the most maybe huge industry for now is the telecom. So telco needs DevOps. They need DevOps in any stage, because I have maybe 7 years actually in the mobile operators in the telco. I know that's what kind of departments and how about the developers, how about the operation and whatever. There is no agile, no actually DevOps. For instance, I have worked for one of the operator, and we start 3G. So, and one day, in Monday, we got the email from today. We are agile. So don't stop agile. So in case you are, boring with something, you stop agile process. Okay. So in maybe 3 months, we start agile. We start 3G actually. And the next step, it was the virtualization. And we got a lack of skills and understanding how to virtualize our infrastructure and whatever. So the future of DevOps for now is a telco, and the most important, there is 5G and the edge computing. So the skills with some kind of huge traffic or latency related applications with the DevOps skills, this is what actually hiring for the in the telecom. Okay, how is it to motivate students who are just looking their way in IT? Please advise simple answer for the questions. Why DevOps is cool? Because it's money. So the most hype of in IT now is all related to the agile, DevOps, and SRE. Next, this is the development. And because the good development can't promote their application faster to the customer, so no money back from the customer. And the DevOps sits on the role when the feature or application going very fast to the customer to get the revenue. So we can start with the, you are working with the edge and cutting solutions. You are involving in the cloud, and you are earning the money. So 3 point, and any students is yours. So how to become a DevOps engineer? DevOps is a process, okay? So roles, responsibilities, and skill required. Okay, how become? So we actually how we actually process the Basecamp. We're starting with the it's related for my course, for example. We start with the clear document, so nothing, so no code. We're starting with the no code, and I ask my students to start develop their application. So they should understand which language. So they choose the language, which language is more suitable for personally them. So next, how to build this application, how to store this application, how to promote this application. Next, we start with the tools. For instance, Docker, images, container, and Kubernetes to manage this. So we start with step by step, and we're going to the skill that this engineer can start build the application, promote this application, and run to the public. So in just 4 days training, they understand what the what the skill set should be improved, what the what process they actually not clear for them, because there is more abstraction on this actually flow. So, and that's it. What about the what skills recruit? This is just a flexible mindset, no skills, because you can start with the actually clear page. So just to check the bash script, just to write some simple application on a bash, and next step by step to the customer. Why do everyone love need Docker so much? Good questions. So Docker is just the company. So this is two part of company, open source and commercial. Moby is commercial, Docker is open source. But why we always say Docker? 2013, maybe 13, yeah. This is the year when the Google implement C groups, control groups. So it's some kind of kernel function on the Linux. So it's some kind of, there is a Linux system has a kernel, and containerization, OS level containerization become the included in kernel function. And in this year, the guys from the Docker, they implement the CLI, console utility terminal program, to implement the easiest way to management the kernel, Linux kernel, because there is a very boring stuff to start the container. They make it easier, and bingo, they actually rise in tons of stars in a GitHub repository. So everyone start with the Docker, and actually all of things that in ecosystem that in open source or enterprise, they start to base in a Docker. And now we say containerization equal Docker, but actually it's not equal. There is an open source initiative, open container initiative, that's Docker included. It's all of company there. There is a specification of container image, and Docker is just one of the company that implement the tools to manage the containers. So Dennis, how actually is DevOps different from the agile methodology? Good question. So how do you call the person with the DevOps process knowledge and experience? Software engineer that implements DevOps. This is the good name of this engineer. But actually in IT terminology, DevOps engineer is a statement. So it's okay. My friend, some of my friend, he is a CTO of DevOps as a service actually company. They have some kind of live stream in a radio, and a radio host say that today we have a very famous DevOps in our live stream. So Volodymyr, how are you doing? And Volodymyr say, I'm not a DevOps, So this is the pause of the radio. So why? Because DevOps is a process, So, okay, what about the different agile methodology? Actually, DevOps based on the agile methodology, but even DevOps based on the lean manufacturing. Maybe there is a Toyota lean manufacturing methods. So there is have a pipeline, and any engineer in this pipeline can stop all of the pipeline because they found the bug. So, and all of implementing the lean manufacturing is related to the DevOps. And what about the Agile and DevOps? Okay, there is actually a guy from the Belgium. This is frustrated Belgium. It's a statement in the DevOps. What is the name? Actually, I just mind. Okay, so he actually come to the Agile conference and he started a very complex project for the government with the for developers and operations, and he managed this and actually project and got the very big issue to implement this project because there is a communication between the team. So, and in this conference, he write in the chat that guys, let's collect in one place and speak about the Agile, how to implement Agile in the modern infrastructure and modern projects and whatever. So they actually booked the time and room. So and he came to the room in single, so just him, nothing. So no one involved to this process. So he understand that something problem with this, and actually they inspired with the Flickr guys that has a speech 10 deployments in a day. So he was inspired with this speech, and in Belgium he started with the conferencing and just put the hashtag in the Twitter, hash DevOps conference, because the Agile conference for sysadmins was a long. So this is the first relation Agile and the DevOps, because the engineer from Belgium started the Agile community to be involving in the DevOps process. So Agile should be solved the issues between the developers and operations. So this is the relate of this methodology. I think we need additional lecture on containers. Yeah, it's very interesting, but a lot of boring stuff there. And other tools is perfect, you know. Can I learn DevOps in the university? Good question. And as far as I know, not. Because there is no a special, you know, a lecture or course, because the all, you know, teachers or professors is the old school. So they know the pipelines, how to build applications or how to build even processors, but not about the, you know, processes. Processors in processors. Processors, processes, yeah. So, and actually, the things is what I'm learning for a lot of courses that I'm actually pass in the past. That's no focusing on flow, no focusing on the culture. And actually, I was involved with in two main maybe examples. First of all, I was involved in the program committee of the DevOps conference, and I was involved in jury in the IT awards of Ukraine in the DevOps nomination. And you know, no culture in a conference and IT awards, all about the tools. So, and this is the problem, because the students can learn the tools, come to our teams or our customers with the tools, skills about the tools, but he cannot actually work in a team because he don't understand the process. He can communicate with each other because there is no easy way to speak or communicate with the developers, because developers is some kind of, you know, not so easy persons, you know. So you should be more scale it with the culture to understand. But university not give you this one. So I hope that Evgeny works on it with the university. So
together with you.
Yeah. So more questions?
I have my usual question. How did you grow into this position that you have right now? What was your development path? Where did you start and how did you become? And can I say how did you become DevOps? I cannot.
Yeah,
how do I correct me? Just correct me.
Okay. So I have actually a huge experience with the operators. So this is I was a network engineer to the CTO. So and when I started with CTO and the IP transit operator, so this is some kind of big internet provider that grows to the operator exactly. So I have a lot of people with a different department. So in most of case, it was an operation. So we support the customer in real time, day and night. So I got the calls in the holidays, in a vacation, in a night, in any place. So to avoid this stress situation, you should build the process for the support of customer and network supporting exactly. And this is maybe the start. So I've actually full understanding the operation side. Next, I was involved in the application development. I have 2 startups with the telecom, so I am actually develop myself some applications. So I am understand the the background of development. So and next we trying to actually sold our application to the customer to run the application to the real life customers with the smartphones and whatever. So, and I mix the development process and application, development application and operation. So, and this is the part of the experience, how to push your application with the pipe, with the flow to the customer, how to support and how to develop. And next, we're starting with the cloud. So cloud required from you the skill set to understand networking, balancing, actually virtualization, servers, and of course, all your background with the DevOps, with the development and operation. So, and this mix, maybe let me understand the SRE and DevOps and trying to implement it in future and existing projects.
Great, thank you so much. I don't see any questions as well. Guys, have we answered all questions? Maybe some was missed, no?
Yes.
I don't see anything that was missed. I think we're fine. So in case no other questions, we can finish here. What do you say?
I think yes.
Green. Dennis, thank you so much. This was very useful. Couple of important emphasis for us, for those who are working on training DevOps together with you, not without your help, but definitely we will be speaking more common language. And yeah, the university smart is definitely something that's on our shoulders.
Yep.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. And I will send you the link to the unlisted YouTube session in case you need to share the video or whatever. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.